The Bats, Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
Bud Black is back after stiffness in his elbow to start against Mookie Wilson, DHing, but still leading off.
The defense for the Cleveland Indians, let's go from left to right. Deion James is in left field. Alex Cole, the center fielder. Corey Snyder plays right. Around the infield, veteran Tom Brookins plays third base. Carlos Baerga is the shortstop. Jerry Brown in second. Brooke Jacoby at first base. On the mound, as you mentioned, Bud Black, and behind the plate is Joel Skinner.
Joel Skinner, you're catching Bud Black today. He has always had such great success against Toronto. 11-4 lifetime. Why, in your opinion?
He's a true left-handed pitcher. He's not a thrower. He's not going to try and overpower too many hitters. And Toronto's always been a good fastball hitting ball club, and they're aggressive at the plate. And it's just a matter of Bud goes out and pitches his game. And he could have done that with other teams, and it might not have been the same. It's just a matter of coincidence, I guess. But he just goes out and pitches his ball game and tries to go with his strengths as much as possible, and from there he just moves the ball around. He really doesn't try and trick anybody. He just doesn't try and throw the same pitch too many times, and keeps the ball out of the middle of the plate.
Rookie Mookie Wilson, a 1-1 count. He's told you before the game, Tom, he's not quite sure how he's going to go today, having missed action since the 20th of August.
That's right. In talking about Bud Black listening to Joel Skinner, all that is very well to do if you're in a regular rotation, but it's been a while, about 12 days since his last start.
He left that game in the third inning with the tightness in the left elbow against Milwaukee. Here's the menu for today. The first Sunday night game ever at Fenway Park takes place tonight. The Red Sox hosting the Yankees. Boston looking for a 10th consecutive win. Toronto's next opponent, Detroit at Minnesota. And overhead, the planes roar by. The weekend air show here in Cleveland. The Lakefront Airport right next to Cleveland Stadium.
So this should make Mookie Wilson feel very comfortable. He's thinking he's at Shea Stadium.
Which the Blue Jays are flying half that high. Well, sound reasoning on the part of Cito Gaston, the DH Mookie. It's sort of a half day off for him in terms of fielding responsibilities. Williams certainly capable in center field. I suspect you might see more of this as the month goes on. He strikes him out. So a good return for Buddy Black as he fans the first hitter to face him in 12 days.
That's one of the many pitches that Buddy Black can throw. Just a little fastball that sinks away, and he had Mookie pulling off the pitch. And we talked earlier about Mookie Wilson, his inspirational ability to get the club going and keep the club going. That's why Cito Gaston needs him in the lineup.
You see how tough Black's been against the Blue Jays' lifetime. Won his only start this year against them. He shut them out for 8 innings, 3-0 here in Cleveland. And at that time, struck out a season-high 7. And Fernandez knows how effective Black can be. Oh for 9, or 9 for 51 with no home runs is Tony Fernandez against Buddy Black. Tommy Craig, the Blue Jays trainer, trying to keep the players cool. Humidity is the problem. 74 degrees at game time is the temperature. It's all not that hot down at the lake, but down at field level, it's very warm. Pitches away. It's 2-2 to Tony.
Bud Black is the type of pitcher that's comfortable for a catcher to get behind the plate and call the game, especially when he's on his control. You can see Skinner moving back and forth from inside and outside to where he wants the pitches, and that's where Black goes. One will go inside, then he moves outside.
Well, he came up last year with a cut fastball that breaks in on right-handed hitters and jams them. So now he's a 5-pitch pitcher. Fastball, slider, curveball, cutter, and change. Throws them all pretty well for strikes. That's fouled away. Holding on the full count is Fernandez.
I'll tell you another thing that Bud Black has in his favor. With his season this year being a pretty steady season, he was also one of the steadiest starters for Cleveland last year. He'll be a free agent, and he's left-handed. So he's a premium, left-handed free agent starting pitcher.
If there's a tree that grows that type of pitcher, I haven't found it.
So far, Joel Skinner has had a couple of shots. here in the first inning. Right off that mask. That's why they tell catchers, don't turn that head. Keep it squared out and let the ball hit the mask.
We were talking last night, you and I watching the game, about how even to warm up between innings, they make catchers wear masks now. There's no hitter in the batter's box, but there's still a chance for injury.
Especially when you have to go out and warm up Tom Candiotti, which is what Skinner did last night, not being in the starting lineup. Candiotti with that knuckleball, he made sure he at least took the mask out there between innings.
Might need an armored suit. At least Fernandez is making Black throw some pitches. He's fouled off 4 now on this 3-2 count. Another foul ball. This one a little longer, more menacing into the Indians' dugout or bullpen down there.
You battle a pitcher this much, especially early in the ball game, and Black having not started since August 20th, he's throwing a lot of pitches. And that could tell later on in the game. And I'm sure John McNamara and Mark Wiley, the pitching coach with Cleveland, they're going to watch him closely as to the number of pitches he throws.
The battle continues. You saw a moment ago, you're getting full value here by the lakefront today. Ball game and air show, 2 for the price of 1.
Black may reach that quota against Tony Fernandez.
Yes. Well, if it's work he needs coming back from a 12-day absence, he is getting it. Fernandez taking care of that. Driven to left, and it's a base hit. Bouncing to the feet of Dion James. The 1-out single for Fernandez.
Can't say enough about those types of at-bats. Pretty good pitch. Black with the fastball down and in. He was just trying to continue with fastballs, not to walk Tony. But Tony battled and fouled some pitches off that were up, pitches that were good pitches for Black. Finally got one in his hitting zone and picked up the base hit.
Kelly Gruber now finally showing signs last night of ending his long drought. He had a double and a home run as the Jays won game 2 in this series, 8-0. That's ball 1. This all after Kelly in the previous 10 games had gone at a .079 clip. He loves the Indians. He's hit 5 home runs off Cleveland pitching this season.
Sometimes it takes that to come out of a slump, go up against the ball club that you've had good success against. And for the most part, I talked with Gene Tennis about Kelly Gruber. Most of it was mental.
That'll be out of play. And yet you and I watched him in the previous 2 at-bats before the double and home run last night. Frankly, he looked brutal. He was swinging badly. Yeah,
he did. The shoulder pulled off. But see Gino right there saying, keep the front side in. But I think the fact that Kelly had the double and the home run last night, mentally, that's certainly going to get him on the right track.
Oh, absolutely. He was really dejected as he would go out the first couple of times and throw his bat down in disgust running to first base. Fernandez with his lead. Brooke Jacoby, a new career over at first base. He has been there 8 times now the last couple of weeks for Cleveland, the veteran third baseman. Brookins over at third, the ex-Tiger and Yankee.
A little different look for the Indians in this afternoon ball game. They've rested a few players. John McNamara decided, because they've lost 6 in a row here on this homestand, to shake things up and get some of the bench players in.
It's almost as though he said, you guys can't hit. I'm going to empty the bench. Use everybody else instead. 3 balls and a strike to Gruber. John McNamara had a tough season, a promising beginning. The Indians threatened for a while, really have fallen off, and Gruber overall has had a magnificent season despite his second half slump. Second in RBIs in Conseco. There goes Fernandez. Pitch is high. He'll be there anyway on the base on ball. Here's Fred McGriff next.
Fred McGriff, a career high for you. 5 hits in last night's ball game.
Yeah, Ferg, swinging the bat real well right now. This whole year it's been like an uphill battle. I got off to a slow start, and I've just been trying to battle from there. But last night I seen the ball well, and Candiotti has a real good knuckleball, but I was able to stay back and just hit it hard somewhere. And my last at bat was my best at bat because I hit that home run.
And a lot of times you don't even get 5 at bats in a ball game because you lead the club in walks.
Yeah, it's real tough because usually, like you say, I'm usually getting 1 or 2 walks a game. So to get 5 at bats is real surprising for me.
Now, this native of Tampa, many friends and relatives looking in today on Channel 32 in Tampa, Lakeland. Here's the play at second base. Just back in time is Fernandez.
That was the reverse turn. A lot of pitchers turn the other way, left-handers, when they go to second base. Bud Black with the quick turn almost nailed Tony in second.
Obviously, the 5 for 5, a career best for one game for McGriff, ties the Blue Jays record for hits in a game. That is a strike, 0-1 to him. Speaking of scoring, the Jays now 27 runs the last 3 ball games. That is more than they've scored in the previous 10 games against Minnesota, the Yankees, Boston, and Milwaukee. It is a feast or a famine for this team. Strike 2, a big cut by McGriff.
Yeah, it's been a crazy year, and that's where you run into problems when you have those streaks. You like to keep it steady, and Fred talked about earlier in the year struggling, but with those 29 home runs, you see where he ranks, and only Ricky Henderson ahead in the on-base percentage.
It's tight. 1-2.
You know, as players are, though, Freddie standing around the batting cage prior to the ball game, getting ready to take some swings in BP. You know what he was talking about? His stolen base last night. Had 5 hits, had a home run, but he was talking about his 5th stolen base of the year.
That was the icing on his cake. Up in the center field, Alex Cole is there. Back to tag is Fernandez. He'll show a little stutter step and get back to second base. 2 gone.
Say the fans here in Cleveland are very excited about Alex Cole, and I think he demonstrated right there that he can do more than just run and steal bases. He has a strong arm. He got rid of that ball quickly. Tony was thinking about maybe going to third, but maybe just a bluff to get a look at Alex Cole's arm. And you can see he came up in the Cardinal organization, went over to the Padres. And there's that strong arm, demonstrated 19 assists in '88.
They don't think he'll hit much for power, but for average, he has here at .333. You're looking at the catcher, Pat Borders, having a career season. 14 home runs and .293 average. Hitting with 2 out and 2 on here in the Blue Jay first inning, looking for a sweep in Cleveland. One and one.
With the Red Sox playing that night game tonight, as you mentioned, the first night game ever at Fenway Park, they're playing the New York Yankees. The Blue Jays need to win this game just to send their message, be it maybe a slight message to Boston that they're still in this race.
Error ball boy, third base side. Boston, meantime, sending a message right back to the Blue Jays. We don't expect to lose. Is that a ball girl down there? I glanced too quickly. My apologies. James down the line takes the fly ball from Borders to end the inning. Jays get a base hit and a walk, but nothing more from Buddy Black. And you're watching Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
The pursuit of beautiful, healthy-looking hair. The lengths we've gone to. The things we've tried. When all along, the secret is to moisturize your scalp. Go straight to the source with the totally reinvented Head & Shoulders cleansing formula. The Hydra Zinc formula delivers 6 times the moisturizers to your scalp and hair. It's beautiful and healthy looking. So help eliminate dandruff flakes and surprise yourself with Head & Shoulders. Start at the scalp for hair that looks truly healthy.
Honey, we should do something with this yard for spring. What do you think?
I don't know. What do you think?
NBA basketball on TSN. All the edge of your seat excitement. the anticipation, the exhilaration, the thrill. Get into the game from the opening tip-off to the last shot, closer to the action with pre- and post-game insight and analysis. Go one-on-one with the best from the hardwood and the biggest matchups of the season. NBA basketball excitement on TSN.
ESPN Classic, where the legends come to play.
Dave Stieb still searching for that elusive 17th win, goes for it today against this Cleveland lineup. The speed of Alex Cole off the top. Jerry Brown right behind him. Deion James in left field. DHing today Ken Phelps. Told you they've changed the lineup drastically, although Kobe stays at first base. Carlos Baerga goes to shortstop. Corey Snyder's in right, but Tom Brookins plays third, and catching in place of Alomar is Joel Skinner.
Look at the defense for the Jays, probably the speediest of outfields. Glenn Allen Hill in left, Ken Williams in center, Junior Felix the right fielder, Gruber and Fernandez on the left side, Manny Lee at second base, Fred McGriff behind the is at first. Pat Borders will catch, and looking for that 17th win is Dave Stieb.
Galen Cisco, Dave Stieb is coming off a loss against Milwaukee. What did he do wrong in that game?
Well, actually, the game wasn't that bad. He left the game after 7 innings, losing 4-2. I think that, you know, coming off the game against Boston, which he had great stuff, I don't think his breaking ball was quite as sharp as it was against the Boston Ball Club. And I think he really needs to keep the breaking ball down a little bit better, locate a little better away from right-handers and in on left-handers.
Well, Steve lost his last game start 6-2 against Milwaukee August the 28th. That was his previous bid for a 17th win. And he struck out 90, walked 50. Having a whale of a season, 20 wins, certainly in line for him.
A little adjustment with the rosin bag. They've had to put it behind the rubber. It was even with the pitching rubber.
Steve is 3-3 in this ballpark over his career. He has had 5 no decisions, many of the heartbreaking variety, from Blue Jay bullpens of bygone days, losing leads he had built.
The thing that Steve is really concentrating on today, talked to him about it in the clubhouse prior to the game, is his release point. He said he's been laying the ball out a little bit too far, not getting on top. When he does that, he doesn't get the movement that he wants on the fastball, and he gets more of a roll on the breaking ball instead of the sharp biter.
Pitches outside to Cole, who at the major league level has learned how to steal bases more successfully. Also learned how to hit. 1990 with Las Vegas AAA. With Colorado Springs, he barely was safe on 2 out of 4. I mean, 50% success rate. Here he's 23-4, and he's on base for Jerry Brown.
Well, the Indians get what they want. They get the speedy Alex Cole at first, and Dave Stieb certainly didn't want to start the game by walking Cole.
O'Brien, the only player left from that. O'Brien, McDowell, Julio Franco deal. Left here in Cleveland, that is. Gets the speed to Brown as the Indians leadoff hitter when Cole is not in the lineup against left-handed pitching.
Jerry Brown's going to try to be patient here because he wants to make Dave Stieb work. He just walked the leadoff man. He hasn't shown real good control. They'd be surprised, too, if Cole takes off. Now, he could, but when a pitcher's struggling, if you take off, all of a sudden the catcher nails you at second base, the momentum changes. But with Cole's ratio, he's had pretty good success rate. He may go anyway.
Steve's throw made it close.
And Steve almost caught him in between. Dave has that quick move. That was close.
I'm not so sure he didn't have it.
Like Fred might have got him right on the wrist.
Cole stole 5 in 1 game shortly after being called up by the Indians.
He shortened up his lead after almost being picked off. And in his own mind, he may be saying, I was picked off. He shortened things up.
Good arm, great speed. And the 5 stolen bases we talked about came against the Kansas City Royals. He stole third twice in that game.
First base umpire Jim Evans almost rang Cole up. He started to move his right arm. See if you can see his motion.
He should have rung him up.
See him? He starts to move back with the right arm and then gave the safe call. So a little indecision on Jim Evans' part.
This is the same crew that was so maddening for fans watching the Red Sox and Blue Jays, with pretty inconsistent calls both ways last weekend at the Skydome.
Tell you what, this is probably the best right-handed move that Alex Cole has seen. And the key for Dave Stieb, Dave has quick action with his feet. He's able to turn and get something on the throw over to first.
Inside, it's 2-0. Porter set to throw, and it popped out of his hand instead.
Alex Cole had a pretty good teacher, though, when he was coming up in the Cardinals organization. There was a time where the Cardinals had hoped to have Vince Coleman, Willie McGee, and Alex Cole in their outfield. Well, he said Vince Coleman used to talk to him about stealing bases. And Coleman, I think most people know at this point, leads the National League with 77 steals.
Well, the 23 that Cole has taken him 35 games to do what Mookie Wilson has taken all season to do. There he goes. Should have him. Yeah. Good throw by Borders. He's not that easy to steal off, as young Cole just discovered.
And I think some people might say, why do you keep throwing over and over to first base? That's why. He may have gotten that hand in there, though. The reason being, we saw Cole shorten his lead a little bit because Dave Stieb almost got him at first base. Because he had to shorten it up, it was just enough to allow Pat Borders to get a good, strong throw on and get him at second base.
Now, finally, he can get back to his hitter, Brown. Count is 2-2 now.
And this is how things can change around, what I mentioned before. Here, Dave Stieb struggled with control. Now, all of a sudden, there's one out. He's back with a strike, and he has the count even to Jerry Brown.
Because having walked Cole, and with the speed threatening at first base, he had no chance to find the groove and get the strike zone back against his hitter, Brown. Now he can. High in the strike zone, it's a pop-up for Kelly Gruber. He'll give way to Fred McGriff, third base over to first base, either side of the mound.
Dave out there trying to direct a little traffic. He had the entire infield converging on the mound area. Looked around. I think he first called for Kelly Gruber, and then Kelly gave way to Fred McGriff. Look at the infield. Everybody but Tony Fernandez. And then Dave pulls away to allow McGriff. And you see Pat Borders peel off. Pat saw first base vacant, decided he better get over there just in case the ball's dropped.
It's Deion James up next. They got him from Atlanta for Odom McDowell, and James has hit Dave Stieb as well as any American League pitcher. He's hitting .279 overall, but against Stieb, he's gone .368, 7 for 19. 2-0. Indians will use James in the second and third spot. He's hitting third today. Oh, check swing. Fernandez will charge the ball and get him. That'll do it. One complete in Cleveland. Steve gets out of a little mini problem. Scoreless after one on the Bass Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
A sedan with true sports performance. A hatchback that handles. Exhilaration from a practical wagon. That's the whole point. Only Mazda gives you that choice, with advanced engine technology and plenty of room to enjoy it all. Test drive the redesigned Mazda 6 sedan, sport hatchback, and sport wagon. An award-winning family from 0% purchase financing.
Contenders ready! ESPN Classic is the exclusive home for the groundbreaking series American Gladiators. Catch the action twice a week, every Saturday and Tuesday, as we relive the excitement of Turbo, Nitro, Gemini, and Jazz. Watch the Gladiators take on challengers in games such as Assault, Powerball, Atmosphere, and the Eliminator. American Gladiators, every Saturday at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, and Tuesdays at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Only on ESPN Classic, where the legends come to play.
Join the NHL Network as we present the Top 10.
This game is tied! Mario Lemieux makes it 2-0.
A half-hour show featuring the top 10 goals, saves, playoff performances, and much more.
Oh, what a pass! And boom, it's in!
The Top 10, nightly at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, on the NHL Network.
You and me were meant to be together forever.
No score. Jays have the only hit of the afternoon. C&E Air Show is also on across Lake Ontario, Toronto's lakefront this afternoon. It's a different lineup with Ken Phelps getting a chance. The much-traveled Ken Phelps, Brooke Jacoby, and Carlos Baerga is playing shortstop today, a switch hitter. Stieb walked Cole to start the game. They got him trying to steal. And Brown popped up and James grounded out. That's ball one to Phelps.
Phelps has really been a disappointment. When the Indians acquired him, it was at a time when they weren't sure what Keith Hernandez's situation was, how much he'd be able to play. He's had 55 at-bats since being a Cleveland Indian. He doesn't have an extra base hit or an RBI.
And they parked him on the bench until today. He hasn't played since August 24th when he came into the game as a defensive replacement in the 9th inning. His first start since July 29th against the Yankees, his former team. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Phelps. Sure, the game isn't that dull. Oakland A's story a little more closely in the Blue Jays and Indians today.
Yeah, reading about the projected team payroll of the Oakland A's if they go ahead and re-sign Willie McGee and Harold Baines, somewhere in the $30 to $40 million range next year.
Popped up for Tony Fernandez. Phelps the first out of the inning. Yeah, these be two Steinbrenner trying to buy a championship team. Probably 20,000 plus here this afternoon in Cleveland. The CTV telecast presented by authority of the Toronto Blue Jays Baseball Club may not be rebroadcast and be formed without the express written consent of the Toronto Blue Jays. This is Brooke Jacoby.
You know, you talk about those salaries, and when you look at it, Chevy and Tommy, 30 to 40 million, how can a place like Cleveland compete with Oakland or Seattle?
Exactly, or Kansas City. Well, they have enough high-priced free agents of their own. Fairly shallow left field, the fly ball taken by Glenn Allen Hill. I mean, the television money, which is very good now, and the agreements they have in Major League Baseball, will take you just so far. But here, a lot of empty seats, and this is a good crowd by Cleveland standards today.
That's the way it always appears here at this stadium because it holds a little over 80,000. And when they get a crowd of 20, 25,000, it still has the appearance of being almost empty.
They'll be filled to capacity a week from today when the Steelers come in to play the Browns. Football, a much different story in this city. Yet plans are going ahead. The referendum has passed to build a new facility in downtown Cleveland. This is Carlos Baerga. Came over in the deal for Joe Carter on Sandy Alomar. He spent much of the year in the minor leagues, recalled about a month ago. It's played very well.
Yeah, I think the time in the minor leagues was well spent by Baerga. He came up, didn't do too well his first few appearances with Cleveland, and when they sent him down, he got a chance to play everyday basis. Now since he's come back, he's hit a lot better. He was one of the keys in that deal. They wanted him included.
Good young player. He's hit a 339 clip since coming back. He's only 21 years of age. Puerto Rico. Chris James also part of that deal.
You know, when you think about it, think of the talented young players the Indians received. Chris James, Baerga, Alomar. One of those that you could say worked well for both clubs. Joe Carter is certainly doing the job for San Diego. Almost has another 100 RBI season. He'll get that the next day or so. But the Indians picked up 3 players who can all be in their lineup and contribute.
It's like the deal for Franco when they gave him to Texas a couple of years ago. They got 3 starters out of that. So they made some shrewd deals here. And yet this team can't win. While the Blue Jays worry about the Red Sox, the fans here in the media, as Baerga takes the walk, worry about whether the Yankees won or lost because of the bottom of the standings. Cleveland is challenging the Yankees for last place.
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago the Yankees had a lot on that last place finish, but not so now.
They're just 3 games apart, the 6th place Indians.
I think Dave right there is just upset. Number 1 with 2 outs, nobody on base, walking Baerga instead of trying to get a quick inning out of the way. And too sure how he felt about the feel of the baseball. Home plate umpire Drew Coble went out there. They went back and forth, but he finally handed him the ball that he used prior to that.
He is steaming and storming on the mound as he is wont to do. Baerga at first base, as you say, the 2nd walk Steve was issued for Corey Snyder. Snyder in a horrendous slump. He got a double Friday night, his first extra base hit since August the 14th.
A couple of times after that pitch, Dave motioning without throwing the ball with his arm to get on top. He still hasn't found that groove that he likes to find. I asked him if in the past if that was something that catchers would remind him of. He said really not. He said he tries to remember himself. He hopes that Galen Cisco reminds him when he gets in on the bench. Sometimes that's too late, though.
Good pitch there to go 1-2.
That's where I think with Pat Borders and Greg Myers, as they get more experience, you're going to have to take charge a little bit more back behind the plate. Go out and tell Dave Stieb when he's not getting on top.
Play at second base. He's gone. The throw is high, but they still nail Baerga. The 2nd Indian to be caught stealing after getting a walk from Steve.
2nd time that Pat Borders has uncorked a good throw. A little bit high, but it was in time. He had something on it.
So the Tribe is gone here in the home 2nd in Cleveland. And the game remains scoreless on Bats Blue Jays Baseball on CTV.
Hello? Oh, hi.
Hello, Moto.
ESPN Classic is the exclusive home for classic NWA TNA wrestling action. See stars such as the phenomenal AJ Styles, Jeff Jarrett, the Monster Abyss, Raven, and the members of Team Canada.
Hey, we're Team Canada, and be sure to watch all the non-stop action of TNA Wrestling every Wednesday night on ESPN Classic.
NWA TNA Wrestling every Wednesday, only on ESPN Classic, where the legends come to play.
I drive for the net.
win the battles out front. When I play hard. Skate, check, pass. Every shift, a possibility. Every second, an opportunity to make some noise. I'd rather be heard than seen. I'm good with numbers. Goaltender's night, make them count. There's only one reason, one purpose. Score goals, one at a time. This is my game. This is my sports center.
Well, it's been a great weekend for the Blue Jay fan club. About 300 or 400 of them from Toronto and area. I see people from Grimsby, Bowmanville, you name it. People who couldn't get tickets up in Toronto come all the way down to Cleveland to watch their Blue Jays win the first 2 of this 3-game series.
La fans are all here.
In full force. Speaking in full force, watch these 3 strikeout pitches. Breaking ball to Snyder. Good sharp break. Watch the sharpness of that curveball. Joel Skinner fooled on the curve. So 3 breaking pitches and all dandies by Dave Stieb.
1-0 here to Kelly Gruber. Walked in the first inning. Griffin Borders to follow. Foul out behind.
Yeah, I ran into part of that group. I don't know if these 4 or 5 guys were with the Blue Jays fan club group, but 5 guys from Mississauga rode into the ballpark last night with them. I don't know if they made it home, but if they did, they're out here today.
Search party will be out for them. Black flags that down, robbing Gruber of a base hit up the middle. 1 out in the 4th inning. We talk about a groove. Buddy Black's found one too, although he said it were far more pitches than Steve since the first inning.
Yeah, I think this demonstrates the quality of these 2 pitchers. I mentioned Dave Stieb had struggled in the first 2, so has Buddy Black, yet the ball game is scoreless, and they're capable of struggling, yet still getting hitters out.
Black's now retired 9 straight.
Some pitchers that don't have the ability of a Stieb or a Black struggle. All of a sudden, they find themselves in the hole 3 or 4 runs.
Control can be a problem for Black, but has not really been today. He's walked just 1, starts McGriff off with a strike. The first inning, McGriff fly to center, ending his string of 5 consecutive hits. Underway, San Francisco on the Mets 3-1. That's a key game in terms of the East of the National League. Second inning, 4-1. The Dodgers lead Montreal at the Big O in the 3rd. Later on, Red Sox and Yankees, 8 p.m. Eastern, Boston. No score here. And just hooking foul. McGriff lately has been spraying shots all over this ballpark here in Cleveland. A shift not too effective in this ballpark against Fred McGriff. Here is the 0-2. It's down and away, a ball and 2 strikes. I mentioned the Expos a moment ago against the Dodgers. They'll be going against the Cubs tomorrow. That game will be on CTV tomorrow afternoon, so check for it in your area. Sends it a long way to left. James going back as far as he can. It's gone. Home run number 8 for the big Blue Jays first baseman. That's his first career home run of Buddy Black.
Well, we talked on the opening how Fred McGriff can be a leader by example, and his example right here is the fastball out over the plate, and this is why he has been able to get that average above 300. He doesn't try to pull it. Oddly enough, most of the balls that he pulls are on the ground. That's why the infield plays the shift, but when he goes the other way, he gets the ball in the air.
RBI number 77 now, 1-0 lead for the Blue Jays. Pat Borders. That's a foul off his own. Holding it 0-2.
You know, I had mentioned, too, earlier that Fred McGriff kind of reminds me of a young Andre Dawson when he was with the Expos, and how he led by the example because he's quiet by nature, and so is Fred McGriff. And I don't think you can make a quiet man be that vociferous type leader, like a Mookie Wilson. It's just not in their character.
Well, in his last 7 at-bats last night and this afternoon, he has 2 home runs, 3 singles, a double, and a very long fly ball to center field. The Indians will be glad to see him get out of town. Orders the 1 and 2 count.
And it's nice to see a little renewed excitement on the Blue Jays bench.
Sends that out of play on the upper deck, third base side. 1-0 on a couple of hits for the Blue Jays, looking to sweep the Indians in Cleveland. Almost the same spot. Black now in the 4th inning is up to his 75th pitch pending. One. Almost souvenir, but long gone down below. It looks like he will oblige and give everybody a second chance.
As more Black continues to throw him that breaking pitch inside, more Pat Porter just keeps fouling it off.
Despite the fact that he has thrown so many pitches, still nobody up in the Indians bullpen. He must feel, despite the stiffness in his elbow in his last start 12 days ago, Black is all right. Tie 2-2. Looking ahead of the Blue Jays series in Detroit, which starts tomorrow. Jimmy Key's going to face Walt Terrell in the opener. Frank Wills versus Frank Fanani in the second game. Another foul ball. And then in the game on CTV Wednesday night, David Wells will go against Clay Parker. Wells trying to rebound a very mediocre effort by his neighbors here on Friday night. Orders checks his swing, and it's a full count, 3-2. Notion, let it go by. Number 3 for Black.
So far, the strategy, and I'm sure this is what Black planned. He's gone 3-2 on a lot of hitters, and then just come with his fastball. Got the little movement on it. That time he had movement away. He got the strikeout on Pat Porter.
String of right-handed hitters against him. It's ironic the only left-handed hitter in the lineup. McGriff is the one to burn him with a home run. Hill will try it, but it's going to be foul. Suddenly, balls off the bats of the Blue Jays from Black's pitchers are going quite a distance. Another strike, 0-2.
Good curveball there by Black.
Upstairs, 1-2. Hill struck out in the second inning. Home run by McGriff, broke a string of 9 in a row retired by Black, but he starts a new string here, getting Glenn Allen Hill, and he's out of the inning with just the 1 run. But it's enough to give the Jays the lead on Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
The wheel goes round and round, we keep it moving, and they don't slow down. The wheel goes round and round, we keep it moving. Round and round. The wheel goes round and round, keep it moving. Oh, yeah. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. The wheel goes round and round. Round and round. Round and round. Goes round
Create a reaction with the fusion of style and substance. Fusion, new from Ford.
You know the way dishcloths get. Dirty, smelly, full of bacteria. But Not if you use the Natura cloth, available only at Home Hardware or Home Building Center. The Natura cloth comes clean and germ-free simply by rinsing. And now there's all-natural Natura cleaner with genuine tea tree oil for outstanding cleaning action with a natural lemon scent. It cleans just about anything safely and effectively. Natura all-purpose cleaner and the amazing Natura cloth. Only at Home Hardware. Help is close to home.
Against Stieb here to start the Cleveland fourth inning. He walked and then got gunned down by Borders trying to steal. It's the fifth time this season Cole has been caught. Stieb struck out Snyder, Brookins, and Skinner in order. There's only 3 strikeouts of the game in the third.
Difference in Dave Stieb last inning and this inning compared with the first two. Getting ahead of the hitters, getting that breaking ball over.
2-2.
That's the pitch you have to try to stay away from if you're a left-handed hitter. It's not easy to do. That sharp biter going down and in. According to third base umpire Tim Welke, Cole did not swing.
Back that time. The count is full. Third time Stieb has had to go to a full count today. Right at Matty Lee, a generous bounce, and Cole is gone. 1 out here in the Cleveland fourth inning. Jerry Brown, the Indian second baseman now, popped up with the first baseman McGriff in the first inning.
Jerry Brown has come alive lately, especially since the All-Star break.
1-1.
Hit .299 last year. Hit right around .300 since the All-Star break this season to get his average up into the 260s, nearing .270.
Line drive contact hitter. Occasional power. 5 homers last year, coupled this season.
Talk about Roseanne Barr. Involved in a San Diego Padre game the other night, and in the San Diego Padre notes, the game notes, they have a notation that the Padres have a record, what their record is since the Roseanne Barr singing of the national anthem.
Hernandez for the second out. Well, has it been a winning record, or like Roseanne with her notes that the Padres gone flat?
Padres have been flat most of the year, Roseanne or not. Again, battling the tough sky. Tony goes back, has the glasses down, never taking his eye off. That's, you know, it appears to be the easy pop-up, but that is anything but easy. It's kind of an afternoon.
2 out, the number 3 hitter, Dion James, played. He grounded out in the first inning.
Not only do you look up to try to find the baseball, you see all kinds of other objects coming in. Perhaps someone out of the bullpen.
Or some politician running in somebody else's area in the next election. 0-2. James, we mentioned earlier, does hit Dave Stieb very well. Not this time. 4 strikeout first for David. Now retired 6 in a row through 4. 1-0 lead over the Indians intact on Labatt Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
お出かけするときは傘を忘れないように。
it never gets out. The new 2006 Ford Focus. Stay focused.
Friday Super 7 jackpot is $12 million! $12 million! $12 million! Better get your ticket!
Tonight on Real Classics.
I like the uncertainty of it. I like the threat of losing.
You're the one that's been slow on the draw with me. I've never held you up a day.
I can't lose. Why? Because I'm betting on them, that's why.
I couldn't have lost those games. Oh, you did! And I want the cash and I'm in a hurry.
I gambled and I lost. Just get the money. I need cash.
James Caan stars in the Real Classic, The Gambler, only on ESPN Classic. On March 29, 1966, Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens was the backdrop to one of the most famous fights in Canadian history. On that day, Canada's own George Chuvalo went the distance with heavyweight champ Muhammad Ali. 40 years later, ESPN Classic gives you the chance to relive the match in its entirety. In this corner's Russ Amber is joined in studio by Chuvalo as they take a round-by-round look at this historic fight. Russ Amber presents Ali Chuvalo 40 years later, Wednesday, only on ESPN Classic.
They might be stopping it. That might be all, ladies and gentlemen. Upset son in this one, and I just turned 22 years old. I must be the greatest. I shook up the world. I shook up the world. I shook up the world.
When you're 9 years old and you get a baseball like that, you want to run pretty quickly so a big kid doesn't take it from you.
And then go show all your friends. Look what I got.
Well, the Jays have got a 1-0 lead as they hit on the 5th inning, the bottom third of the order. And Williams to start it, which is a foul. Williams, Lee, and Felix for Toronto. Griff home run, 1 out of the 4th, the difference of the ball game. Outside, Buddy Black, 1-1.
You know, you can see why Bud Black has been a consistent pitcher over the years. 17-game winner in 1984 Kansas City, but he has a nice motion. A little bit off in his control today because of the time in between starts, the 12 days. But he's right around there and keeps his ball club in games. He will be well sought after.
Just outside. Fergie's speculation really makes sense when you think of it. He's been so tough on the Jays. They have personal, painful knowledge of the efficiency of Bud Black and would love to have him.
Yeah, if you acquire, the Jays were lucky enough to sign a Bud Black.
Just there. Williams heading for second base. James up with it. A leadoff double for the Blue Jays center fielder.
Well, Kenny Williams getting an opportunity to be in the ball game as a starter. It's a little more comfortable with each at bat. Pitch hung out over the plate, and Williams just hangs it down the left field line just fair. That padding on the walls here in Cleveland, played well by Deion James, the left fielder. The point I was trying to make about Bud Black, should the Jays be lucky enough to acquire him, it gives them some flexibility now with left-handed starting pitching, because you certainly wouldn't go with Wells, Cerruti, Key, and Bud Black. You wouldn't have 4 left-handers in your starting rotation. It gives you an opportunity to move someone, maybe move somebody in the bullpen, maybe move somebody in a trade.
Manny Lee getting with Williams at second base. Nobody out.
And with a job to do.
Down the line. That's going to score the second run easily. Lee's on his way to second. Williams passing the plate. 2-0 Toronto. Back-to-back doubles to start the 5th inning.
Sometimes by being successful when you have a job to do will enhance you the next time you come up in that situation. Manny Lee just trying to hit the ball the other way to move Williams over to third. Not only does the job, he moves him all the way into score and picks up a 2-base hit.
He's at second for Junior Felix.
So a job well done by Manny Lee.
This is 36th run batted in. Felix fly to center field in the 3rd.
And Junior, having been in the on-deck circle watching Manny Lee, should go up there with that same thought in mind. He has to do the same thing, but he didn't show it on that last swing. There he goes.
0-2.
Cito Gaston's certainly not trying to look ahead. He wants his game here, but talking about the Tigers with him, they've been a hot ball club. They've been scoring a lot of runs.
The Jays are going to miss Jack Morris. Gave you the pitching rotation earlier. They're going to face Terrell, Tanan, and Parker, the way things are set up now. Felix much prefers right-handed pitching. Takes it high from the southpaw Black. 2-2. Center field. Cole makes the play. Lee makes the tag, and he is head first into third.
The Blue Jays being able to execute a little bit here. A nice slide to beat the throw. But Junior Felix, even with 2 strikes, I actually thought he was trying to hit that ball the other way and hit it deep enough into right center field, and that enabled Manny Lee to get over there from second base.
So Felix has the job done with Lee at third, 1 out. Mookie Wilson, the hitter.
Yeah, it does a lot of things. One, it makes it easier to score from third, the obvious, but it brings the infield in. Cleveland now comes in with Mookie Wilson up and 1 down.
Mookie in the last 7 games hitting 200. That's not the whole story for him. He's really been a second-half catalyst again for the Jays. He's done 310 since the All-Star break.
You know, he just shakes his head when people ask him. He just continues to say, I've always been a better second-half ball player.
For Mookie, spring training doesn't end in March. It continues through April, May, June.
You know, the thing that I remember him telling me that impressed me in spring training, that he works on a lot in the wintertime. Doesn't swing the bat, doesn't really work too much that way. He works constantly on his legs. And I think especially when you get into your early 30s, mid-30s, that's the most important part of a player, and that's what he works on all winter. Just so the legs are in shape by spring training, he feels everything else will fall into place.
High 2-2. You talk to almost any athlete in any sport as they get toward the twilight years of their career, the thing that concerns them is the legs starting to go. This is the 100th pitch for Bud Black, and it is a ground ball he will handle easily. Rod Wilson for the second out and frees Lee at third base.
But with the infield in, that's what Black wanted. The chopper somehow in the infield. Wasn't necessarily thinking back to him, but see him took that little peek to third just to make sure Manny Lee wasn't going, and then recorded the out.
Tony Fernandez is 1 for 2. He singled off Black with 1 out on the first inning. And fly to center in the third. A little bit high on the judgment of Drew Coble. 4-1.
You know, we've talked about Bud Black, but he has a good battery mate back there, even though Sandy Alomar is not in the lineup. The Indians don't lose much defensively with Joel Skinner back there. He is one of the better defensive catchers in baseball. He lacks some with his offense, but he calls a good game. Pitchers enjoy pitching to him, and he has a strong throwing arm.
John McNamara has seen the Jays come in after Boston swept them for the first time here in 23 years. All Toronto has done is score 22 runs to this point. The 5th inning of the wind-up game of the series.
Just driving McNamara crazy here. He had a chance, maybe not to get into first place, but to salvage things with the big homestand. The Red Sox and the Jays, they haven't won a game.
It ends today, and they're 0 for 6. to the speculation about Bud Black, and that's all it really is. Opinion. He is 32 in his 8th season of Major League Baseball. He's got a lot of pitching left in it. As is the case today, he can be prone to giving up home runs. He had 13 last year in his first 22 appearances, then settled down. He gave up 1 in his final 11 starts through 77 innings.
Originally started with Seattle, the draft pick of the Mariners.
And the Royals got him. Now Cleveland. Well, kind of been a more productive inning for the Blue Jays with back-to-back doubles to start it, but they'll have to settle for 1 run. Hernandez grounds out, stranding Manny Lee. It is Toronto 2, Cleveland nothing. The Mass Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
Sexier, edgier, unrated. Derailed is spellbinding. A Jennifer Aniston you've never seen.
I've got you, girl, here.
An intelligent 4-star thriller.
How do they know everything about us?
Derailed. Buy the unrated DVD today.
A technical wonder. Nimble. Dazzling. Incredibly efficient. We pioneered the first hybrid in North America, the Insight. Now, we proudly introduce our next generation of environmental enlightenment. The powerful V6 Accord Hybrid and the all-new Civic, Canada's most affordable hybrid. Just a few signal change. Imagine what can happen with millions.
Being a guy means getting dirty. And you need the right tools to get clean. Enter the Lever 2000 Win All the Right Tools contest. You could win a Black & Decker $5,000 prize package. Hit lever2000tools.ca for details. Lever 2000, the right tools for the job.
U.S. college sport at its best. NCAA hockey, speed, finesse, and campus excitement. Top rivals meet every week throughout the season, all the way through the Frozen Four and the championship game. Catch NCAA hockey all season long on the NHL Network. Check the ticker for details.
Hi, folks. I'm Russ Amber. Be sure and tune in every Wednesday to see the likes of Ali, Foreman, Chevalo, Gatti, Tyson, and many, many more. Relive all the boxing action Wednesdays on ESPN Classic, where the legend.
And the most valuable player is Magic Johnson. 42 points, 15 rebounds, and 7 assists. He starts at center, plays forward and guard, and leads the Los Angeles Lakers to a World Championship over Philadelphia.
Well, the Indians not really adjusted very well against Dave Stieb. He takes a no-hitter to the 5th inning against Ken Phelps, Brooke Jacoby, and Carlos Baerga.
Well, Phelps broke up a no-hitter, broke up a perfect game. Back on April 20th, Brian Holman of the Seattle Mariners. Phelps at that time with Oakland hit a home run, pinch hit home run.
For Fred McGriff, play he will make unassisted. 1 out of the Cleveland 5th inning. Brooke Jacoby next. He flied to left field. Is only his time up today. Now 7 straight. Retired by Steve. The walk to Baerga in the 2nd inning. A ball, a strike to Brooke Jacoby. As I said earlier, looking and feeling more comfortable over at first base all the time. Veteran third baseman making the move. Hernandez may be out for the rest of the year. Virus he's contracted has kept him down.
And Hernandez has had all kinds of problems. Leg problems, now a virus. There was even some talk in the paper today or in Cleveland that the Indians are thinking about just eating the 2nd year of his 2-year guaranteed contract. They don't know what, at 37 years of age, Hernandez can add to their ball club. The amazing thing, I think, we were talking about earlier, one of their biggest flops this year. A lot of people question why a team such as Cleveland would sign a player at his age to a 2-year guaranteed contract.
For the kind of money they were dishing out. $1 million and something. Jacoby Jacoby is the 5th strikeout victim for Stieb, who gets his 2nd out of the 5th inning.
Well, Dave has it going. We've talked about it after struggling with that release point a couple of innings. Now he's throwing it well. That was a pitch. Jacoby actually thought that ball was going to break a little bit more over the plate. Here the term of backup slider. That pitch stayed inside. Jacoby was looking for it to break, and it didn't.
Base runners were given walks. Cole and this man, Carlos Baerga, they were both erased on throws to second base constantly.
You know, the other thing about Hernandez, he'd been coming off an injury-plagued year his last year with the Mets as well, so it wasn't as if he were coming off a strong season.
Strange move. The great agent. 0-2 to Baerga. Again, McGriff will get the job done. Stieb has a no-hitter through 5. And the Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead over the Cleveland Indians on Labatt's Blue Jays Baseball on CTV.
What's the recipe for Labatt Blue? First, go back 150 years, settle in new land, and raise 14 children. Next, start a brewery that will withstand fires, prohibition, and a kidnapping. Then have your beer named by the fans of a legendary Canadian football team, win international awards, and become the best-selling Canadian beer in the world. Here's to real heritage. Here's to real beer. John Labatt's Blue.
Remember the old family car? Well, we turned it right around. Added all-wheel drive, flexible 7-passenger seating, a personal safety system, and a style that's all grown up just for you and your family. Freestyle by Ford.
On the next episode of The Amazing Race.
Oh my God!
Teams struggle to find the clue in pieces of laundry.
I'm flabbergasted here. You having fun yet?
No, I want to kill myself.
Please let us find this thing.
And Laurie breaks down at the roadblock.
Come on, baby!
They don't fit. It doesn't fit anything.
That's gotta be part of the thigh.
I know, but it doesn't fit.
Oh my God, it's horrible.
A new episode of The Amazing Race, Tuesday at 10, 9 Central on CTV.
It all started when I was 5. On the surface, I'm aggressive. I live on the edge. For me, 1 second is 1,000 equal parts. Blink and you'll miss me. Friction, fractions, faith moves mountains. Focus conquers them. Helmet, gloves, goggles. At 130 clicks. Nothing else compares. One law, gravity. One purpose, finish first.
This is my line. This is my sports center.
On with Tommy Hutton and Fergie Oliver. This is Don Chevrier with you on a delightful day at Cleveland Stadium. Temperature in the low 80s, light breeze, middle of a long and glorious Labor Day weekend. For the Blue Jays, they're working on a sweep over the Tribe. They lead 2-0. Kelly Gruber into left field. Now James will come over a couple of steps, thinking the ball might never come down. Might join the air show and stay for the afternoon.
As this inning starts, Bud Black, having thrown a lot of pitches, having not thrown in a while, his last start on August 20th. Steve Olin, right-hander, warming up now for Cleveland. So if he gets in any kind of trouble early in this inning, I'm sure John McNamara will make the move. And this might be his last inning anyway, even if he breezes through.
Yeah, he's throwing 107 pitches, so the count is getting up there for his first start back. But he remains effective. He gets Fred McGriff to ground out, the guy who homered off him last time. Again, Borders into left field for James. Very quickly, Black gets out of that inning. The Blue Jays 6. But the Jays still hold the edge, 2-0 on Labatt's Blue Jays baseball and CTV.
the best of BC at home in Ontario.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I got it. Every drop of Kokanee is brewed in Creston, BC for a glacier fresh taste. Welcome to Kokanee.
A sedan with true sports performance? A hatchback that handles? Exhilaration from a practical wagon? That's the whole point. Only Mazda gives you that choice, with advanced engine technology and plenty of room to enjoy it all. Test drive the redesigned Mazda 6 sedan, sport hatchback, and sport wagon. An award-winning family from 0% purchase financing.
Catch WWE Raw and all the excitement on TSN. Every Monday, see your favorite WWE superstars featuring the Game Triple H, Kane, John Cena, Edge, and many more. WWE Raw, Mondays on TSN.
Contenders, ready!
ESPN Classic is the exclusive home for the groundbreaking series American Gladiators. Catch the action twice a week, every Saturday and Tuesday, as we relive the excitement of Turbo, Nitro, Gemini, and Jazz. Watch the Gladiators take on challengers in games such as Assault, Powerball, Atmosphere, and the Eliminator. American Gladiators, every Saturday at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, and Tuesdays at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Only ESPN Classic, where the legends come to play.
For the first time in history, the World Championship banner will fly north of the border.
Touch 'em all, Joe! You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life!
Major League Baseball, Thursdays on ESPN Classic, where the legends come to play.
We talked about Bud Black last inning going out there with Steve Olin warming up. Now, he only threw 3 pitches, but he hung a pitch to Kelly Gruber that he just missed. A long fly ball to Pat Porter's hit was a hanging breaking ball. Now, I think Black's going to stay out there and work, but I'm surprised. I think this is a time where John McNamara has to say, okay, you've given me enough, 6 good innings, and then go to his bullpen.
Now Dave Stieb takes his no-hit game into the 6th inning for the bottom third of the order. Corey Snyder, Tom Brookins, and Joel Skinner with a strike to Snyder. He spanned 5 along the way. Corey was one of those back in the 3rd inning. He's 2 strikes to him here.
And he has really set a good pattern. There's that backup slider. That ball came inside to Corey Snyder. Number 1, he was surprised with the pitch. Number 2, he was surprised it was a called strike.
Again, defense gave him a big boost. The only 2 to get on were erased on stolen base attempts. He striked out Snyder there. That's half a dozen. 10 in a row retired by Steve.
It's a pitch Snyder's been looking for. It's the frustration of a hitter after he has a pitch called on him that he's not sure it was a strike. He thinks it was a bad call. Now he strikes out on a fastball. It was a pretty good pitch to hit. But who does he blame? He turns around and blames home plate umpire Drew Coble for putting him in that 0-2 hole and not being ready for that fastball.
Got to blame somebody, huh? Brookins takes strike 1. Steve is really on top of his game right now.
Jumping ahead of every hitter.
Working quickly as he likes to do. Just a little high, 1-1. You look at him, he's got that obvious confidence now. He can throw every pitch for strikes.
You know, and as you well know, everybody that has watched him over the years, ever the perfectionist. And in talking to him before the game, mentioned that, well, it's in the ball game you had against the Red Sox, pretty good. Nah, I didn't throw well in that one. I've really been struggling with this release point. Well, he's not struggled with it only for the first couple of innings today.
Blue Jay fans numbering in the thousands here in Cleveland this afternoon, cheering Steve now with every pitch as he works the 2-2 to Brookins. And Brookins just did hold back to run it full. Cole walked to start the game. Baerga walked in the 2nd with 2 outs, both caught stealing by Borders. And here, a strikeout for Brookins, number 7 for Steve. Well, the Jays have never had a no-hitter. They've had 11 one-hitters, and believe me, this ballpark owes Dave Stieb a no-hit game. One of his one-hitters, perhaps the most heartbreaking, came here at a bad hop at second base. Ball that should have been a routine out for the final out of the game, and the no-hitter hopped into right field instead. September 24th, 88. The second baseman that day, Julio Franco, just shook his head and said he couldn't believe it. He got the hit up. Strike one to Joel Skinner.
The other interesting thing about the Blue Jays pitching, they've had 7 shutouts. 6 of those shutouts this year have been combined. Dave Stieb was the only shutout, 9 innings.
They're waving at almost everything he throws now. Weak strike there by Joel Skinner.
So far, the bottom third of the order, Snyder, Brookins, and Skinner, are 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts. And if Steve makes the pitch he wants, it'll be 0 for 6.
1-2.
Good pitch, though. See Pat Borders move outside, wanted the fastball right there off the plate, see if Skinner would chase it. They put it right in his mitt.
He has struck out the side for the 2nd inning in this game. He did it also in the 3rd. He runs his K total to 8 as the Indians' frustration mounts and Steve's confidence builds. 2-0 Toronto. I'm Levant, Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
There's a new detergent from Gain. And you can always tell who's washed their clothes in it. New Gain Joyful Expressions. The scent says sassy.
King Kong is stomping in the Future Shop this Tuesday at a guaranteed low price. And we're having a Kong-sized contest. Inside each King Kong DVD, you'll get a special code. Check yours for a chance to win this huge 72-inch Toshiba rear projection TV or a massive $25,000 shopping spree. King Kong, get it first this Tuesday at Future Shop.
It hasn't been easy. Being born with this, having this legal line, it's not exactly normal. You try to get other people to understand. To accept. That's why I feel so lucky now. Like things are finally making sense.
The redesigned 2006 Accord.
ESPN Classic is the exclusive home for classic NWA TNA wrestling action. See stars such as the phenomenal AJ Styles, Jeff Jarrett, the Monster Abyss, Raven, and the members of Team Canada.
Hey, we're Team Canada, and be sure to watch all the non-stop action of TNA Wrestling every Wednesday night on ESPN Classic.
NWA TNA Wrestling every Wednesday, only on ESPN Classic, where the legends come to play.
Here is the ex-Met and Dodger Jesse Orozco to pick it up finally for hired Buddy Black. He threw over 120 pitches this afternoon. Orozco appeared on Friday and yielded the Junior Felix monstrous home run into center field.
Well, Jesse Orozco now in his 2nd year as a member of the Cleveland Indians. They signed him back in 1988. And again, we talked about Mookie Wilson feeling comfortable with the jets above the air show on the lake. Jesse very comfortable out there. Went through that same problem at Shea Stadium, and probably his best moments as a pitcher in 1986. Please remember that world champion New York Mets team.
You know, the U.S. Tennis Open is on right now, and that really drives the tennis players crazy. They apparently have changed the flight patterns now, so that's not as much of a problem as it always has been.
Jesse Orozco with a fastball and a good hard breaking pitch, mainly 2-pitch pitcher.
Look at this. Navy is airborne at the Cleveland Stadium.
Speaking of Mookie Wilson, his former Mets teammates going at it right here.
Roscoe to Wilson. Fernandez and Gruber to follow in the Blue Jay 8th, a 2-0 lead, and a no-hitter in the works for Dave Stieb. Pops it up. Skinner back near the screen, now has to back off, but he has it.
outfielders and infielders battling, they have the opportunity to wear the glasses. The catcher doesn't. Even though Skinner was standing in the shade, he had to look up into that bright sky. About to start. Poor Andy Hawkins was the pitcher who got blasted in that ball game against Boston yesterday at Fenway.
Gave up an inside the park home run when a shot out into right field caught Jesse Barfield with a pulled muscle. He couldn't recover, couldn't get to the ball and make the play out.
Andy Hawkins has had 3 starts at Fenway Park, has totaled 1 inning in the 3 starts, 13 hits and 18 runs.
Will not be willing to go to Boston for his postseason vacation.
No, he will not even make the trip next year, wherever he is.
A ball and 2 strikes to Fernandez, hitting with 1 gone on the Blue Jay 8th inning. It is upstairs, 2-2. The heart, such as it is, of the Cleveland order awaits Stieb in the 8th inning. Phelps, Jacoby, and Bayerga. And then in the bottom third, Snyder, Brookins, and Skinner to accomplish his dream this afternoon.
And then keep in mind, of the bench players, even though some are regulars, the only left-hander would be switch hitter, Mitch Webster.
Single for Fernandez with 1 out. Tony has gone 2 for 4 this afternoon.
Tony took a big turn at first base after driving this ball hard into the outfield. He wanted to put a little pressure on Alex Cole, but Cole came up. Fired it in quickly because of the big turn. Bayerga saw it. Looked it over to first, see if he could catch Tony going back.
So he's there for Kelly Gruber, who walked in the first inning, but hasn't been able to pick up on his success of last night, his home run and double. He's grounded out and flat out since the walk. Carrasco, soft toss to Jacoby. When Dave Stieb, but he might appreciate the extra run or 2. He wouldn't mind if this inning ends quickly. He can get right back to work. Blue Jays banter on many of these CTV stations. Check for it where you live. The Jays complete their road trip through Cleveland and Detroit and head back for the White Sox in the Sky Dome.
Jacoby got to it. Tony able to get back.
Gave him a forearm in the ribs. F-15 still dazzling the crowd on the Cleveland lakefront this afternoon. And here at the stadium, 23,640 strong. 1-2 to Gruber.
Orozco, as a left-hander, basically pitches the way Dave Stieb does to left-handed hitters. Orozco doing it to the right-handers. That big breaking ball, tried to run it inside, and then he'll utilize his fastball, working it in and out.
He struck out 4 in his 2 of the 3rd innings of Friday night against the Jays, but did give up the Junior Felix home run. Didn't walk anyone. Way outside. It's 2-2.
Talk about Joel Skinner and his ability to throw. Just keeping Fernandez honest. Joel with that snap throw.
good day for base stealers this afternoon.
No, it hasn't been. The strong arm of Skinner. Look at that throw. Something on it. No chance for Tony Fernandez. In his limited time, Joel Skinner now has tossed out 8 of 17.
And Gruber strikes out. And just like that, the inning is over. Focus squarely on Dave Stieb. Phelps, Jacoby, and Baerga scheduled to face them in the Cleveland 8th on Labatt's Blue Jays Baseball on CTV.
お出かけするときは傘を忘れないように。
Once you're in, it never gets out. The new 2006 Ford Focus. Stay focused.
Friday Super 7 jackpot is $12 million! $12 million! Better get your ticket!
For really tough cleaning, it's the new Mr. Clean Magic Eraser Extra Power. It's 50% stronger to clean sticky messes in the fridge and even stubborn dirt from tile grout. It erases soap scum from textured shower floors and dirt from outdoor toys. The Mr. Clean Magic Eraser Extra Power cleans like magic. Pass it on.
Tonight on Real Classics.
I like the uncertainty of it. I like the threat of losing.
You're the one that's been slow on the draw with me. I've never held you up a day.
I can't lose. Why? Because I'm betting on them, that's why.
I could have lost all those games. Oh, you did! And I want the cash and I'm in a hurry.
I gambled and I lost. Just get the money. I need cash.
James Caan stars in the Real Classic, The Gambler, only on ESPN Classic.
The Bulls have 3 seconds to try a shot and try to win the game. Sellers has Jordan. Jordan with 2 seconds to go, puts it up and scores at the buzzer. Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago.
Shadows at Cleveland Stadium encroaching further into drafts. Dave Stieb goes to work to face the Indians in the home half of the 8th inning. It is no longer just a question of Dave Stieb looking for a 17th victory. He has another opportunity for a no-hitter. In the 8th inning, Ken Phelps, Brooke Jacoby, and Carlos Baerga, and the Indians scheduled to try to disrupt that.
We talked earlier about Dave's longest outing this year, that shutout back on May 28th against the Oakland Athletics. Also mentioned earlier that Ken Phelps broke up a no-hitter earlier in the season.
Hasn't done much since.
That was his last and only home run this year. A home run against Brian Holman, not only to break up the no-hitter, the perfect game, but the shutout.
Bays popped up, and he's grounded out. Ball one.
What Dave has been able to do with that breaking pitch today is really tie up the left-handed hitters. None of them have been able to get the arms extended and get anything on the ball.
1-1.
That pitch he left out in a dangerous area. Phelps had a pretty good rip.
9 no-hitters in history thrown against the Indians. Len Barker threw a perfect game against the Blue Jays in this park on May 15th at 81.
Phelps has had a couple of decent rips on those last 2 pitches. The one breaking ball out over the plate. That last one a little more on the inner half, but still a good swing by the veteran.
Well, it means he's now behind on the count, so advantage Stieb.
See the concentration of Stieb. He's not bothered at all by those F-15s. Phelps stepped out. Stieb is ready to go.
flying higher than they are. 2-2. A full count.
That one he tried to overthrow a little bit.
Sixth time he's gone to a full count.
Other thing you think about, a runner gets on base, the Indians bring the tying run to the plate.
Phelps will. Third walk issued by Stieb. Or as you say, yes, a no-hitter is still going, but the ball game far from decided as Jacoby brings the tying run to the plate. As Stieb will make his 100th pitch to Jacoby into center field. There's a lot of room out there for Ken Whittem. One out.
Hey, you tend to forget also about the two opportunities that the Blue Jays had. Successfully getting the runner from second to third, but unsuccessfully getting that runner in with less than 2 outs. So instead of a 4-0 lead, it's 2-0, and the Indians, by getting that run on, as I mentioned, get the tying run to the plate.
Yeah, they had 2 chances of that. Didn't do it. They've left 4 in the afternoon. Carlos Baerga. He walked, got a race, right as field. And then grounded out to McGriff in the 5th inning. Strike one.
The other thing that hurts with that runner at first base, Baerga up there has that hole on the right side. It's McGriff holding Phelps, but now Freddie's going to move behind because Phelps is not a steal threat. Fred goes behind to try to fill that hole up a little bit.
Yeah, they cut down the distraction factor a little bit. Stieb not worrying about him too much. That is in left field. Hill giving chase near the line, and he takes the ball for the second out. Stieb now is 4 outs away from a no-hitter. And the hitter is Corey Snyder, who was struck out twice. In fact, the bottom third of the order, Snyder, Brookins, and Skinner, has each fanned twice this afternoon.
Snyder still talking with home plate umpire Drew Coble. Remember the second strike to Snyder's last time up, he questioned the call of Coble and then struck out swinging on the next pitch and still looked back at the ump. Well, he hasn't forgotten about it.
May not get him any due consideration here either.
The only way you're going to help yourself is if you go up there and say, yeah, I saw the replay. They told me it was a pretty good pitch.
You were right.
Try to get him back on your side.
I don't think he did that. Snyder sends it up in the left field, but well within range of Hill. Coming in for the ball and taking it. Stieb takes another no-hit bid to the 9th inning here in Cleveland. Don't go away. We'll get right back to you on the last Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
Okay, we're gonna get you out of here. On 3, you step on the gas. 1, 2, 3! Okay, I think you need to unload some of your cargo.
For true Canadian taste from Canada's oldest brewery, it starts here. Molson Canadian Lager.
Join the NHL Network as we present the Top 10. From great goals to stunning saves and much more. The Top 10, nightly at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific on the NHL Network.
The wheel goes round and round, we keep it moving. And they don't slow down. The wheel goes round and round, we keep it moving. Round and round. The wheel goes round and round, keep it moving. Oh, yeah. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. The wheel goes round and round. Round and round. Round and round. Goes round and round.
Create a reaction with the fusion of style and substance. Fusion, new from Ford. It's the NHL on TSN, presented by Molson. Darcy Tucker and the Toronto Maple Leafs travel to the Swamp to battle Patrick Elias and the New Jersey Devils. Sunday on TSN. Hockey lives here.
Quite a story unfolding at Cleveland Stadium this beautiful Labor Day weekend Sunday afternoon. The Toronto Blue Jays leading the Indians 2-0, trying to sweep the series. Dave Stieb one more time taking a bid for a no-hitter into the 9th inning.
I think the other exciting fact of this ball game is that there's so many Blue Jays fans here in Cleveland, having made the trip down for the weekend. Just waving to my boys from Mississauga down here.
We're wearing a Ranger hockey sweater.
Don't go. Steve has a no-hitter going.
McGriff ducks away from ball one. He homered in the 4th, 1 for 3. It was his 30th of the year. Roscoe continues to work for the Indians. Behind McGriff 2-0.
I think a lot of players could learn something last night watching Fred McGriff hit against the knuckleball pitcher, Tom Candiotti. He has a good approach to that type of pitcher.
That's 3-0.
Obviously, it's more comfortable to Fred because he normally has the spread out stance, but there are some hitters who, against the knuckleball pitcher, will spread out a little bit further than they normally do. Cut down a little bit on the stride.
McGriff, obviously, green light flashing in his eyes. Into center. Very deep and well out of here. 31 out of the year, 2 for the day. McGriff strikes again. 3-0 Toronto.
Gatson gave the green light all the way to Fred. He had a 3-0 because he knew against the left-hander he'd have a chance to see some fastballs from Orozco once Orozco fell behind. Watch his power by Fred McGriff. Leaning back, not coming up too much with the upper body, and good extension. He knew all the way that that one was gone.
And so is Orozco.
So it will be Steve Olin, who was warming up earlier, coming into the game.
Right-hander, third pitcher of the afternoon for McNamara's Indians. Olin called up last July for the end of the season, the end of July, getting 23 saves, leading the Pacific Coast League in Colorado. Then he struggled. And has made this team again this year, and he's performing in a somewhat spotty Cleveland bullpen here in 1990.
Freddie, with that home run, the way he has performed over the last couple of months of the season, he hasn't gotten a lot of help, especially the last week or so from Kelly Gruber. George Bell's been out of the lineup. A lot of clubs have been pitching around him. If you remember that Boston series, they did not want to be hurt by Fred McGriff. They pitched around him a lot.
Pat Borders drives a shot at the gap. Coming over to cut it off is Dion James. He can't handle the ball. Borders hesitates, then will head for second base safely. It will probably give James an error. Borders stopping content with a single. When James had trouble with the ball, he took one more base.
Yeah, Pat was really content, and I questioned his thought there because the ball was into the gap, because James is a left-handed thrower, had to backhand that ball. Pat was really content with the single, and once he saw the ball bobbled, instead of taking that big aggressive turn, once he saw it bobbled, then he took off for second.
And so they scored a single and an error to the left fielder on the extra base. So he's the second, nobody out for Glenn Allen Hill. Jays lead 3-0. Sidearm Olin gets it right back to the Brown Hill, but over to third goes Borders. For the third time today with one out, the Jays have a runner at third base.
That's great to see the execution so far, at least on the front end of this play. 3 times, as you mentioned, the Jays have been able to move that runner from second to third.
And Williams, today's center fielder, takes it high, ball 1. Nolan doesn't walk that many. He's walked just 18 while striking out 45 in about 64 innings of work.
Normally, Cito Gaston might make a move here to bring on a left-hander to try to get this run. But I think Cito wants to keep his best defensive club in the lineup.
Knocked down by Baerga, and he takes care of Kenny Williams. 2 outs. So again, the Jays fail to capitalize with a fly ball at least to score a man with 1 out from third.
Ball hit hard by Kenny, but a good play by Baerga. And what Cito's thinking, he's thinking ahead. And he knows that by leaving Kenny Williams in the lineup, even though he almost comes through and picks up the RBI here, if not for Baerga, by leaving Williams in the lineup, he has a good defensive outfield with Hill, Williams, and in right field, Junior Felix. So some good speed out there.
This is Manny Lee. He drove in the Jays' second run with a double in the 5th inning. The heels of the 2-base hit by Williams. Nolan 1-0 to Lee. Orders of third, 2 out. 2-0. Looking ahead to the Cleveland 9th. Scheduled the 8-9-1 hitters. Tom Brookins, Joel Skinner, and Alex Cole. 2-1 to Manny Lee.
Your tendency against a pitcher such as Steve Olin, who throws that sinking fastball, is to pull off. That's what Manny Lee has done the last 2 times.
He will send Steve back to work in search for him. A lifetime elusive no-hit game. The Blue Jays have never had one. Will this be the day? Stay with us on Labatt's Blue Jays Baseball and CTV.
The Flamethrower Grill Burger at Dairy Queen with jalapeno bacon and Tabasco flavored mayo in half-pound and quarter-pound. Do one carefully. And finish off with a mint Oreo Blizzard treat.
Bold design. Awesome power. The most exciting full line of any manufacturer. Nissan's Let's Seal the Deal sales event is back. Get $2,000 cash back and low 1.8% purchase financing on 2006 Ultima or X-Trail. This is the Nissan Let's Seal the Deal sales event. Hurry, offer ends March 31st.
U.S. college sport at its best. NCAA hockey, speed, finesse, and campus excitement. Top rivals meet every week throughout the season, all the way through the Frozen Four and the championship game. Catch NCAA hockey all season long on the NHL Network. Check the ticker for details.
Hi, folks. I'm Russ Amber. Be sure and tune in every Wednesday to see the likes of Ali, Foreman, Chavallo, Gatti, Tyson, and many, many more. Relive all the boxing action Wednesdays on ESPN Classic, where the legend of the game.
There it goes, a long drive. If it stays fair, home run. You won't see many more exciting World 1975 Classic.
Well, Dave Stieb has had it all going this afternoon. He has issued just 3 walks. 2 of those were a race trying to steal. Ken Phelps left in the 8th inning, having walked the lead off. He's going to face some new people, though, because John McNamara had most of his starters, his regulars on the bench. He could use them to pinch hit here in the 9th inning.
Yeah, he's going to have Chris James and Candy Maldonado to face this inning. James will probably go up and hit first for Tom Brookins. But Dave Stieb, you go back to those first 2 innings. He walked the leadoff man. Alex Cole was thrown out by Pat Borders. And then with 2 out in the 2nd inning, he was upset with himself when he walked Carlos Baerga. But again, he was helped out by Borders as Baerga was caught trying to steal.
8 this year. Mulholland, the most recent with the Phillies a couple of weeks ago. We have the good fortune to televise one of those, the Sky Dome, and Dave Stewart no-hit the Jays. Can Dave Stieb do it this afternoon for the 9th of 1990? It is the 4th time in his magnificent career that Stieb has taken a no-hitter into the 9th inning. The 2nd time here in Cleveland. Chris James hitting for Tom Brookins. Ball 1.
And James, normally the everyday player, a 300 hitter.
A ball and a strike to him. Stieb has struck out 8. None since the 6th inning when he fanned the side. He's done that twice today. Strike 2.
Great one-on-one confrontations. You know what's going through Stieb's mind. He knows the position he's in. The hitters coming off the bench, they're fresh. They've been watching him the entire game.
James gets a peek, holding it 1 and 2.
And through it all, think about the thoughts going through Pat Borders' head. He's never handled a no-hitter in the major leagues. So a lot of pressure on that man right there as well.
No Blue Jay catcher ever has. High, 2 and 2. Last inning or so, and Dave has missed. It has been on the high side. In fact, getting higher and higher as he goes along. James into left field. Tracking over is Glenn Allen Hill. There is room. There's the out. 1 gone. The last 3 outs have been by Hill. And here are the no-hitters of 1990.
I think a lot of people remember the Nolan Ryan. Melito Perez's was a shortened no-hitter, a rain-shortened game. You know, I look back at this ball game, and there really hasn't been a tough play. Most of the 8 strikeouts, most of the outs have been routine variety.
Here is the power of Candy Maldonado, a 76 RBI man for the Indians. He takes a wild swing at strike 1. Maldonado hitting for the catcher, Joel Skinner. 3-0 Cleveland. Or 3-0 Toronto in Cleveland. Up to the face of Maldonado. 1 and 1.
You're just excited, too.
It really is exciting. You don't get this opportunity.
You do not.
Very often. And it's ball 2.
Dave still hitting spot so. Borders outside. Wanted the pitch there, and Dave gave it to him. Big Pat saying, keep it down.
And he chops it foul to go 2 and 2.
That's good to see Pat Borders back there taking charge in that manner. He's into this too. He's motioning to Dave, who you pointed out has had a few pitches up. And he said, keep that ball down.
Borders has become a very, very good catcher.
Pressure on everybody. The defense, the infielders, the outfielders. The outfielders don't want to not pick up a ball, hit their direction, and misplay it. The infielders want to handle ground balls.
There is pressure on everybody in Blue Jay colors right here. He's an out away. Maldonado on the 113th pitch thrown by Stieb becomes the 2nd out. Way up in his face, he swings through it.
Not exactly where Dave wanted it because Pat had set up outside, but he ran the fastball up and in and got Maldonado to chase it.
So for the 4th time, he takes it to this stage. 2 out in the 9th inning for the 2nd time here in Cleveland. Alex Cole, the scheduled hitter from center field, will face him. He is twice grounded out, and he is walked today. And Stieb starts in with ball 1.
And you have to be alive for a bunt because he has tremendous speed.
He showed bunt on the 2nd pitch the last time he was up, and then pulled back with it. Ball 2. stealing. He walks it. His fourth pass of the day. Brown is 0 for 3. He's popped up twice and grounded out.
Fortunately, the Blue Jays have enough of a lead. We talked about it before with Phelps at first base. Now Cole is at first, the speedster. But Fred McGriff, because the Jays have a 3-0 lead, is going to play back to fill up that hole with the lefty up there.
Ball 1. Stieb in search of control at this critical juncture has thrown 5 balls in a row. Behind him, he needs 1 more out. Strike 1, 1-1. Easily over to second base goes Cole. Nobody paying attention to him, but his run alone doesn't matter in this game. Jays lead 3-0. Into right field. He has got a no-hitter for Dave Stieb. The long frustration is finally over. The first in Toronto Blue Jay history recorded here in Cleveland this afternoon.
Jackpot is $12 million! $12 million! Better get your ticket!
Hello? Oh, hi.
Hello, Moto.
We cannot take on much longer.
Have no fear. We sent our swiftest messenger for reinforcements.
The next episode of The Amazing Race.
Oh my God!
Teams struggle to find the clue in pieces of laundry.
I'm flabbergasted here.
Y'all having fun yet?
No, I want to kill myself.
Please let us find this thing.
And Laurie breaks down at the roadblock.
Come on, baby!
They don't fit. It doesn't fit anything.
That's gotta be part of the thigh.
I know, but it doesn't fit.
Oh my God, it's horrible.
The new episode of The Amazing Race, Tuesday at 10, 9 Central on CTV.
Hockey's history.
Hello, Canada and hockey fans in the United States.
There it is! Number 700!
Events that are forever frozen in time. Relive hockey's greatest moments, Tuesdays on the NHL Network.
Here's Fergie with Dave Stieb.
Well, I'll tell you, it is about time.
partner.
I still don't believe it, Fergie. I'm numb right now. I just can't believe that ball went through.
You've been in that situation 3 times before in your career. So what thoughts were going through your mind?
Well, I was thinking about getting it, of course, but I remember sitting here last time thinking the same thing, and I didn't want to jinx myself, but I'd already thought about it, so that was that, and I just kept going at it like it was the 9th inning. I thought about that in the 7th, and I went out there like it was the 9th. I did the same thing in the 8th, and in the 9th inning, I didn't want to make any bad pitches and let him beat me on that, so I was very careful with Cole there, and luckily, the last guy hit the ball right to the right fielder.
Dave, I thought that Cole was your toughest out in the ball game. It seemed to me you pitched him a little more carefully than the other, did you?
Yeah, I did. I was concerned about him before I went out for the 9th inning. You know, he takes a lot of pitches. If I got behind him, then I'd have to give in to him, and you know, it's a good shot to get a fastball and get a base hit. But you know, I walked him, and I got the next guy out.
It's almost if you played it the right way by walking Cole.
Yeah, it turned out that way.
It sure enough did. Okay, let's talk about, you know, the night here in Cleveland with the Franco getting the hit off it, all those things in the past. You're looking at 20 games this year. I mean, this is Dave Stieb's year. There's no question about it.
Well, I don't know about all that, Fergie. Right now I'm looking at number 18 personally. You know, it's been a great year. I've had some good play behind me, and they've scored some runs for me, and I've had a good bullpen behind me. And, you know, I'd like to go out there and pitch a few more innings than I have, but you know, that's just the way the season's gone for me.
What about that shot that Phelps ripped foul off you? That was close.
Yeah, it was very close. You know,
what did you throw him?
I think it was a breaking ball slider in, but I didn't get it in far enough, obviously. But you know, he was looking for something in. That's why he hit a foul.
And you were pitching into hitters all day long, it looked like, and getting ahead on the count.
Not from the get-go. I wasn't. I was behind a lot of hitters, and they swung at some bad pitches for me, and I was able to get a few strikeouts that way. But I was struggling early on, and luckily it didn't get to me, and I was able to work things out.
It was interesting. Tommy Hutton had a conversation with you in the clubhouse before the game, and you were telling him that your biggest concern here this afternoon was your release point.
Yeah, that's what I was working on in the beginning of the game. I was struggling with my release point and, you know, trying to throw pitches inside and get the breaking balls inside on left-handers. I've been struggling with that, and that's one thing that I wanted to go out there and concentrate on tonight, but I wasn't really doing it right off the bat. That's why I was struggling so much, but like I said, they swung at some bad pitches, and I stayed out of trouble because of that, and I was able to work out of it.
Dave, you've had a sensational career with Toronto. This is a moment you'll never, ever forget.
That's right, Fergie, I won't.
And you've had 5 cracks at it. You got it.
That many? Oh, geez.
All right.
ESPN Classic celebrates the start of the Major League season with Blue Jays Opening Day Classics. Join us for 7 consecutive hours of action, including Opening Day 1977, 2001, and 2002. Blue Jays Opening Day Classic, Saturday, April 1st, 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. ESPN Classic, where the legends come to play.
Major League Baseball Productions presents...
Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. Welcome to This Week in...
Why